Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai. Let's continue our game of Our World Is Ended, running on Nintendo Switch. After I take a 2-hour nap at my desk, Yuno-san and I make our way to the roof of the building. This is where you'll find Wadi-san's penthouse and a place to dry the laundry. Wadi-san and Asana-san are still on their shift. Binoculars in hand, they're both looking around the area. The two turn around and they look completely drained.
Oh, 来たか。じゃあ交代してもらおうかな。とりあえず今のところ異常はなしだ。
Wadi-san yawns and stretches.
私も休ませてもらうわ。さすがにもうヘトヘトだから。
Looks like her partner drained more of her energy than the task itself. Well, I won't ask what happened. They give us their binoculars.
レイジ君はユーノと一緒か。ラッキーじゃないか。
He grins impishly.
まあ、せいぜい二人っきりの時間を楽しんでくれたまえ。何か間違いが起こったとしても、若さゆえの過ちってことで、みんな許してくれるはずさ。
私は許さないわよ。もしそんなことになったらレイジ、あんたを隅田川に沈めてやるんだから。
浅野さん、大きな声を出さないでくださいよ。怪物に聞こえちゃいますから。というか、尾張さんの言うことを真に受けないでください。
言うのに何にもしないわね。
しませんって。この状況でどうこうしようなんて考えるほど僕は節操なしじゃありませんから。
じゃあこういう状況じゃなかったらユーノのことをどうこうするつもりなのね。
違いますって。今のは言葉のあやです。ほんと大丈夫ですから。
I don't know if it's her tiredness talking, but she's really suspicious of me. I desperately try to calm her down and convince her. That pays off, and she eventually seems to understand.
ユーノ、何かあったら私に連絡するのよ。お姉ちゃんがすぐに駆けつけてあげるから。
それじゃあ二人とも、あとは頼んだよ。
Wadi-san returns to his penthouse while Asana-san goes back into the building. In a way, Wadi-san is still here on the roof, but I don't think he can hear or see us from his penthouse. That means we're basically all alone here. Yeah. The exciting idea keeps me awake, so thinking that to myself actually helps me with the task. We crouch at the edge of the roof and look around through our binoculars. The mysterious monster we encounter in town is nowhere in sight. At the very least, it's clear it isn't anywhere near the office building. What is that monster anyway? What's with the RP map phenomena? This just isn't normal. I suddenly remember Idaka-san's idea. The government experiment opened a door to another world, letting the monster in and turning this world district into an other world. I normally laugh it off, but reality itself does not allow it. Can we escape that monster? Will we ever leave Asakusa? Worry, fear, and tenseness come over me all at once. Yuno-san, on the other hand, is as nonchalant as always.
レイジ君、ユーノね、居眠りしないようにちゃんと準備してきたんだよ。
She opens the plastic container in her hands, exposing something brownish.
じゃじゃーん、コーヒー味のかき氷だよ。
It was basically just shaved ice with coffee poured on it. Even in this situation, Yuno-san doesn't stop being in the airhead she is. Shaved ice in this situation? Shaved ice, I've been waiting for it.
待ってました、かき氷。やはり見張りといえば外せませんよね。
My words probably sound a bit forced, but I can't hold them in. Despite the situation we're in, Yuno-san is acting the same way she always does. I never thought I'd ever be so appreciative of something so normal.
ユーノさん、ありがとうございます。
うん、どういたしまして。いっぱいあるからどんどん食べてね。
いや、ありがとうございますっていうのはかき氷のことだけじゃなくてですね。
なになに？
She looks at me with a genuine smile. I finally realize that I'm about to say something really embarrassing.
あれれレイジ君どうしたの？言うのすっごく気になるんだけどな。
Her clear, angelic eyes look like they're shining. Well, she won. I can't talk my way out of this while a girl's looking at me like that. I'm too weak. I give up and just say what I feel.
ですね、ユウノさんがこうやっていつも通りでいてくれるととても安心するなと思って。浅草から出られないとか、怪物が街を徘徊してるとか、いろいろ不安なことはあるんですけど、ユウノさんがいつも通りでいてくれるから、そんな不安もどこかに行っちゃって、だからありがたいなって思ったんです。
Yuno-san responds with a smile.
そっか、どういたしまして。ユウノもレイジ君といると安心するよ。ずっとレイジ君と一緒にいられればいいのにな。
Forever? Wait, no, there's no way. She's an airhead, so there's no deeper meaning to it. I hide my excitement by digging into the shaved ice.
このコーヒー味のかき氷、とっても美味しいですけど、めちゃくちゃ甘いですね。
それはね、コーヒーに秘密があるんだよ。ミルクと砂糖を4対2の割合で入れてあるんだ。ここだけの話だけどね。
She brings her face close and whispers that like it's the most important secret in the world to her. She's so close. Her eyelashes are long. Her eyes are large. Her lips are shining. And she smells really nice. No. I can't keep letting her words and mannerisms control my heart like this. Also, she's using a weird ratio again. It's not 4-2, but 2-1, right? Still, that too is her being herself, regardless of the situation, which I find kind of amazing.
やっぱりユウノさんってすごいですね。
Those words just slipped my mouth.
ユウノがすごい？どこが？
She looks genuinely surprised.
こんな状況で明日どうなるかもわからないのに、しかも怪物が襲ってくるかもしれないっていうのに。それなのに少しも怖がらずにいつも通りの自分らしさを貫き通せるなんて本当にすごいことだと思います。
それはレイジ君の誤解だよ。ユウノだってすっごく怖いんだから。
She pouts, clearly annoyed by my comment.
でもね、なんか不思議なんだけど、みんながいるからきっとなんとかなるんじゃないかなって、そんな風に思えるんだよ。思えるっていうか、信じられるかな。みんなが一緒だからきっと大丈夫ってユウノは信じてるんだ。もしユウノ一人っきりだったらきっと怖くて今頃泣いちゃってると思うんだよ。ユウノ弱虫だからね。
ユウノさん。
Yuno-san. Right, what was I thinking? There's no way you can't feel uneasy and frightened in this situation. Yuno-san's just doing her hardest to act as her usual self to not lose against those negative emotions, but that doesn't change the fact that she's amazing. In that case, all I should really do here is help make her unease and fear a bit lighter, right?
そうですね。確かにみんなが一緒だと心強いですよね。尾張さんは普段はあんなでもなんだかんだとリーダーシップを取ってくれますし、イルカさんは時々意味不明ですけどおかしなことを言って場を和ませてくれますし、夏美さんは正直言って何を考えてるのかわからないところもありますけど、それでも一番冷静で的確な意見を言ってくれますよね。それから忘れちゃいけないのが浅野さんです。ちょっと乱暴なところもあるけど、ユウノさんのことを大切に思ってて、いつも守ろうとしてるのがわかります。確かにこれだけのメンバーがいれば心強いですよ。
As I come to see her point, Yuno-san shakes her head. Then she smiles.
レイジ君、大切な人のこと忘れちゃってるよ。
大切な人？
それはもちろんレイジ君本人のことです。
Her tone is slightly playful.
僕
Her words thoroughly surprised me.
うん、そうだよ。他のみんなだけじゃなくてレイジ君も一緒だからユウのいつもの調子でいられるんだよね。
Yunasan is an airhead among airheads. That makes her incapable of saying any empty flattery.
でも僕なんて何もできませんよ。どこにでもいるような普通の大学生で、ジャッジメント7でも雑用専門のアルバイトですし。
やれやれだよ。レイジ君ちっとも分かってないんだね。
She heaves an exaggerated sigh.
レイジ君のことジャッジメント7に誘ったのってユウのだったよね。覚えてる？
I instantly nod. How can I forget that? I started working at J7 after Unisan called out to me when I happened to visit Asakusa. Honestly, back then, I didn't think she was inviting me to a part-time job. I thought she was picking me up for a date or something, so I just followed after her, feeling like the top of the world. And so, before I realized it, I was in J7's office, went through an interview conducted by Awadi-san, and started working here as a part-timer. In other words, I basically fell for a honey trap. Not like that was Unisan's intention, but still.
実はレイジ君の前にも何人も声をかけて基地まで連れてったんだ。中にはバイトをしてくれるようになった人もいるんだよ。
Looks like I wasn't the only one who fell for it. Can't really blame them, though. It's hard to say no to Yuno-san.
でもね、みんな3日も持たなかったかな。ある日突然来なくなっちゃうの。何にも言わないでいなくなっちゃうんだ。でもレイジ君だけは違ってた。3日経っても4日経っても1週間経ってもいなくなったりしなかったよね。どんなに無茶なこと言われても、どんなに大変な目にあってもいなくなったりしなかったよね。レイジ君は自分のことをどこにでもいる人だってそんな風に言うけどさ、今レイジ君がいるのはジャッジメント7でしょ。だったらどこにでもいる人なんかじゃなくてユウノたちのそばにいてくれる特別な人なんだよ。そんなレイジ君だからユウノは安心できるんだ。
She's really overestimating me. Honestly, I wanted to quit J7 a lot of times before. The reason why I didn't was mostly due to the fact that the June of Nightmares began shortly after I started working. It was a crunch time so intense that I just didn't have the courage to ask them to let me go. I didn't even consider running away without telling them anything. And by the time the June of Nightmares was over, I was more or less used to the company. That leads us to the present. That's all there is to it, honestly. So yeah, I'm not special in any way. I'm actually a very plain person. Even so, her words make me really happy. They let me believe that I'm actually a special person. As in, someone special to her. The idea makes me both embarrassed and happy. I'm with a pretty high school girl, and there's a starry sky above us. I belatedly realize just how flustering this situation really is. I mean, it's like I'm actually living out my youth to the fullest.
あれれ、レイジ君顔が赤いよ。どうしたの？
She looks at me with worry in her eyes. Knowing her, if I told her the truth, she'd just give me a genuine smile. But if she told Asana-san about it, it'd be all over for me. Well, she probably wouldn't sink me into the Sumida River, but I can easily imagine her throwing a punch at me for looking at Yuno-san the wrong way.
なんでもありません。
本当？
She's not aware a bit of what I'm thinking. In fact, she actually draws closer and extends her hands towards my cheek. I feel both of them touch my face. She holds my head tight, making me stare directly into her eyes.
うわー、やっぱり熱いよ。具合悪いなら無理しちゃダメだよ。
Of course, I'd heat up if you do this to me. I don't have what it takes to say that out loud, so I just let her do whatever she wants.
手だけじゃちゃんと熱が測れないな。レイジ君、ちょっとおでこ貸して。
As I voice my surprise, Yuno-san brings her face even closer. Am I about to be subjugated to the legendary forehead-to-forehead temperature measurement? And the person doing it is Yuno-san? For real? Can I survive this? Suddenly, I picture myself sinking in the Sumida River. Oh no, if this keeps up, Asano-san will actually kill me.
ちょっと待ってください。本当に具合が悪いとかじゃないんで。
I raise my voice, making her stop and look at me in confusion.
本当に大丈夫？
本当に大丈夫ですから。
そっか、それならよかった。ユウの心配しちゃったよ。
She finally believes me and lets go of my face. Though I'm relieved, I'm also a bit, very sad it's over. Damn it, I lost to Asano-san's threats. Not like there's any shame in that. She's not a foe mankind can handle.
それじゃ、レイジ君、見張りを続けよっか。交代の時間までファイティングだよ。
As I hang my head, Yuno-san beams at me. Oh yeah, I almost forgot that we're here to keep watch for the monster. I should be grateful that I get to do this alongside Yuno-san. With that in mind, I recompose myself and return to looking out. Our shift passes by without us sighting the monster even once. Judgment 7 Office Nap Room, 7/17/2017, Monday, 8:11 a.m.
Reiji-kun?
I'm woken up by a familiar voice. Upon opening my eyes, I see Awari-san looking down on me.
おお、やっと起きたかい？おはよ
He greets me as listlessly as always. This is the third floor of the office. It's for lack of a better word, the residential area of the office building. There's a bathroom, a shower, and even a washing machine. Though you need Natsumi-san's permission to use the bathroom and the shower. Behind a few large bookcases here, you'll find the part of the building rented by Natsumi-san, otherwise known as the Sanctuary. There's a so-called Natsumi Absolute Defense line behind the second bookcase, and it's rumored that anyone who passes it instantly dies. I don't quite believe that, but this is Natsumi-san we're talking about. I wouldn't put it past her to put a curse on you or something. The open space before the bookcase is primarily Mai and Iruka-san's nap area. The big man is sleeping on the upper bunk, snoring loudly. Even his snoring sounds weird. Also, he doesn't take off his trademark sunglasses even when he sleeps. Is he that embarrassed to show his face?
う。ユウノから連絡があってね。朝食を作ったからどうぞってことだ。
Yuno-san and I kept watch between 2 and 4 at night. We were then replaced by Natsumi-san and Iruka-san and went to sleep for real. Combined with the nap from before, I had about 6 hours of sleep, which isn't bad at all. It made me a bit hungry though, so...
はい、お供します。
I go to wake up Iruka-san, but Nowari-san recommends against it.
イルカはもう少し寝かせておいてやろう。夏美と一緒に明け方まで見張りを続けてくれたはずだからね。
He has a point. Iruka-san's only been sleeping for about 2 hours. It's too early to wake him. Leaving him and Natsumi-san still in her sanctuary behind the bookcases, Awari-san and I leave the third floor. We go down the stairs to the lounge at the first floor, the dining room, social space of the building. The place has a number of unmatched sofas and tables, which were probably picked up from a second-hand store. Normally, the place would seem disorderly, but for some reason it feels perfectly balanced, giving the place an air of an old cafe. The room also has a fridge, a simple stove, and a sink, making it perfectly possible to make basic boiled, fried, oven-cooked food. The kitchen space is currently occupied by Yuno-san and Asano-san.
ちょっと待て。浅野、どうしてお前がキッチンに立っている？
Awari-san seems completely shocked.
はあ？見てわからないの？朝ごはん作ってるからに決まってんでしょ。
He then whispers, I miscalculated. Excuse me? In regards to what?
あれ？イルカと夏美は一緒じゃなかったの？
ああ、あの二人はまだしばらく寝かせておいてやろうと思ってね。見張りも3番目だったからさ。
ああ、なるほどね。そりゃ確かに起こしたら気の毒ね。わかったわ。二人の分は作り置きにでもしとくわ。 世界さんとレイジ君はソファーに座っててね。もうすぐできるから。
She wasn't joking. The food came to us just a moment later. French toast, sunny side up fried eggs, wiener, and orange juice. A well-balanced breakfast indeed. There's one problem though. The quality of the two plates. The toasts are black, the fried eggs look tragic, and the wieners are basically charred. It's way too obvious who's responsible for these two. Thank God Natsumi-san isn't here. I can just imagine her saying, Asano, you're such a saddening elder sister.
ちょっと終わりレイジ、どうして二人して私の顔を見んのよ。
She clearly didn't want us to point it out, so she just snapped at us before we could.
そうよ。こっちの真っ黒な方は私が作ったのよ。なんか文句あるわけ？
いや、別に文句はないが、疑問ならあるぞ。これ、誰が食べるんだ？
What a high risk reward situation. Only two here get to eat the good ones. We all look at each other's faces.
いいわよ。こっちは私が責任持って食べるから。
Asano-san takes one of the failed dishes and brings it to herself.
じゃあもう一つはユウノが食べようかな。
Miyu-san reaches for the other failure, but Asano-san stops her.
言うの？あんたは自分で作った方を食べなさい。終わりかレイジのどっちかが私の作ったのを食べるのよ。
Owari-san looks at me. I can almost see the words written on his expression. He's saying, Reiji-kun, my boy, you're a part-timer here. You know what you must do, right? Owari-san, once I'm done, gather my remains.
終わりさん、骨は拾ってください。
わかった、レイジ君。君の犠牲は、このジャッジメントセブンを救った英雄的行為として、永遠に語り継ごうじゃないか。
Considering the incomprehensible situation we're in, I can't allow our leader to collapse. I gather my resolve and prepare to eat this poison for the sake of J7. You owe me one, Owari-san. I glare at him with those words in mind, but it doesn't seem like it's reaching him. He's grinning like he always does.
仕方ありません。今回は僕が浅野さんの料理を食べますよ。
I reach for the other failed meal.
ちょっとレイジ、せっかく私が作ったんだから、もう少し嬉しそうに取りなさいよ。仕方ないって何よ。そりゃ見た目はちょっと真っ黒焦げだけど。
いやー、さすがレイジ君。俺にはとてもじゃないが真似できないな。それじゃ遠慮なくこっちをもらっておくよ。
He reaches for the one Yuna-san made. With our choices before us, we start a relatively normal breakfast. However, Owari-san's grin is making me feel like this situation is a bit unfair.
終わりさん、僕が浅野さんの料理を選んだのはジャッジメントセブンのためであって、終わりさんのためじゃないですからね。今終わりさんに何かあったらみんなが困るから、だから僕が犠牲になるんであって、そうじゃなければわざわざ外れの料理なんて。
誰の料理が外れですっていうか、犠牲って何よ犠牲って。なんで私の作った料理を食べるだけでそんな大げさな話になるの？わけわかんないんだけど。
つまりレイジ君は、俺が浅野の料理を食べて倒れたりしないように、自ら進んで毒を選んでくれたということだよ。
そっか、レイジ君みんなのためを思ってお姉ちゃんのお皿を取ってくれたんだね。大丈夫、ユウノもレイジ君の骨を拾うよ。
ちょっと言うの、みんなのためにって何よ。なんで私の料理を食べると倒れる前提なのよ。
Crap. Asano-san's getting heated.
レイジも終わりもなんかムカつく。せっかく早起きして作ってあげたんだから、もっとありがたく思いなさいよ。
ああ、感謝しているとも。ユウノ、おいしい朝ごはんをありがとう。
いいえ、喜んでもらえてよかったです。
おーり
いったい。せっかくユウノが作ってくれた美味しい朝食を食べてるんだから、ゆっくり楽しませてくれよ。
Asano-san threw a punch towards Owari-san. I thought that'd make her cool off a bit, but
レイジ、あんたもそうよ。人の料理を外れ扱いなんてして。 もっと嬉しそうに皿を取りなさいよ。それに犠牲って何よ。せっかく私の手料理を食べられるんだから感謝しなさいよね。
Hey, I did say I'll eat it. What's with this treatment?
お姉ちゃん落ち着いて。あんまり騒ぐと二人とも起きてきちゃうよ。
ああ、実にうまい。いやー、さすがユーノの料理だ。これが食べられないなんてレイジ君は不幸だね。
終わりさん、恨みますよ。
Anyway, I end up eating all of Asana-san's cooking. The taste? Well, it was exactly like you'd expect, like charcoal. However, I later discovered something shocking. I saw it after breakfast when I was helping Yuno-san clean up.
ユーノさん、黒い山みたいなのは何ですか？
ああ、あれはね、お姉ちゃんの作った料理の失敗作なんだ。お姉ちゃんはおかわり用だって言ってたけどね。
The food I had to eat was already enough of a failure, but this is even worse. The ingredients used probably regret being born. I should have known she'd have such a powerful weapon in store. What a fearsome person. Anyway, to prevent any further sacrifices, I just take care of the Black Mountain. Judgment 7 Office Lounge, 7/17/2017, Monday, 10:22 a.m. It's 10 in the morning. Natsumi-san and Iruka-san have woken up and came to the lounge. Awari-san waits for them to finish breakfast and speaks up.
それじゃあまあ、夕べの見張りの様子でも聞くとしようか。騒ぎが起きなかったから大丈夫だったってことは分かってるけど、一応ね。
まずは私たちからね。特に何にもなかったわ。静かなもんよ。この変態以外はね。
Her tone is scornful.
下ネタしりとりはお気に召さなかったかい？じゃあ続いてレイジ君、ユーノ。二人は何かあったか
いえ、特に何も異常はありませんでした。
あんまり静かだったからレイジ君とたくさんお話ししちゃった。星とかも見ちゃったし楽しかったな。
レイジ、あんたうちのユーノと楽しい思いをしたみたいじゃないの。
Asana-san gives me a stern look. I have to give it my all to hide what happened back then.
我が輩たちも特に異常なしだった。我が輩の体からほとばしるホーリーウェーブが怪物を寄せ付けなかったと考えるのが順当だろう。
We ignore Iruka-san's pointless delusion and just take the info that nothing happened on their shift either.
さてと、みんなの報告を受けた上で俺から提案があるんだがいいかい？このまま基地に閉じこもっていても仕方がない。状況を詳しく知るためにも浅草の街に出てみようと思うんだが。
あの怪物と戦うつもり？そんなのごめんだわ。
Natsumi-san rejects his suggestion. I'm with her on this one. I don't think we'll ever be able to beat a creature like that.
いやいや、いくら俺でもあの怪物の相手をしようなんて思っちゃいないよ。あくまで目的は浅草の調査だ。まずはロープレマップ現象の検証だな。現象の起こる境界線はどの程度にまで及んでいるのか、またどこかに穴はないのか、ついでにそのあたりを調べてみようと思ってね。どうだろ
う。なるほどね。それなら外に出る価値はありそうね。案外抜け穴なんかがあってすんなり街を出られるかもしれないし。
ユーノも賛成だよ。今後のことも考えて空いてるお店はチェックしておきたいしね。
でもまたあの怪物と遭遇したらどうするの？
何？固まって行動すれば大丈夫だろう。それに夕べの様子から見てどうやらあっちはさほど素早くは動けないようだ。
我が輩のスーパーフラッシュダッシュを発動させれば恐るるに足りぬということか。
Unika-san proudly puffs his chest. I'm not sure if I can expect something you'd call a super flash dash from someone with that frame.
それじゃあ10分後に基地の前に集合だ。おのおの武器として使えそうなものを見つけて持ってくるように。
Wadisan concludes the gathering.
大割さん、武器として使えそうなものなんてちょっと心当たりがないんですけど。
As I turn uneasy, he places a hand on my shoulder.
よし、わかった。君には俺が秘蔵しているとびっきりの武器みたいなものをもとい、武器そのものを貸してあげようじゃないか。あれさえ使いこなせれば怪物なんて恐るるに足りないよ。
His laugh is devoid of any responsibility or reliability. Hearing it just makes me even more uneasy. 10 minutes later, we J7 members gather in front of the office building. All of us are holding weapon-like things we found inside. Wadi-san has a slightly dirty metal bat, definitely a decent choice. Utica-san has the most weapon-like thing of all, an airsoft gun. It uses air pressure to fire BB pellets. I don't know how effective it will be against that monster, but it helps to have a ranged means of attack. Natsumi-san has a tennis racket. Seeing such an indoor person hold such a sporty thing is really something. Asana-san, the strongest among us, is holding a frying pan. It's weird how she makes an everyday item look like a lethal weapon. Yuna-san's weapon is a mop. It has range, but I can't expect it to deal much damage. Still, it suits her well, so I like it. As for my weapon...
大割さん、これは何ですか?
Dissatisfied, I look at the one who gave it to me.
何ってとびっきりの武器じゃないか。君のために物置を漁って見つけてきてやったんだよ。感謝してほしいものだね。
確かに武器には違いありませんよ。でもこれどうやって使いこなせって言うんですか?
How can I not be dissatisfied? I mean, he gave me actual nunchucks.
男ならブルートリーに憧れてヌンチャクの練習ぐらいしたことがあるだろう。
それはもっともっと上の世代の話ですよ。ヌンチャクなんて手にしたのも生まれて初めてですから。
I'd have a much easier time using a simple stick.
つべこべ言わずにやってみればいいじゃん。案外うまくいくんじゃないの?
Asana-san clearly barely cares about this.
デイジ君のヌンチャクさばき言うの見てみたいな。
There's not a hint of sarcasm in Yuna-san's tone. She's just genuinely curious, and that makes it hard for me to answer.
レイジーよ、考えるのではない、感じるのだ。さすればゴッドリーが貴様に力を貸してくれようぞ。
Yeah, it's best just to ignore him.
いいから試しにやってみなさいよ。
Natsumi-san coldly orders me. All right, then I will. Just watch me. I run my memory and do my best to remember how Bruce Lee handled his nunchucks in one of his movies. And so my first nunchuck swing hits me directly on the back of my head. As I bear the pain, everyone looks at me with disappointment or shock.
若いんだし、せめてもう少しやってくれると思ったんだけどね。
ゴッドリー降臨の儀を行わなかったのだ。ま、この程度だろう。
情けないわね、レイジ。でもちょっと面白かったからよしとするわ。
デイジ君、ユーノのモップと交換しようか？
いえ、大丈夫です。この武器で頑張ってみます。
I rub my head and respectfully refuse. I can't let Yuna-san have such a bad weapon. It'd also be pretty bad if she somehow ends up using it better than me. It'd put a dent in my honor as a man.
ま、無茶なアクションはせず、適当に振り回すぐらいにしておくように。自分で頭を打って KO なんて笑い話にしかならないからね。
Wada-san speaks with a wry grin on his face.
それじゃ、浅草の街の探索を始めようじゃないか。各自くれぐれも注意を怠らないようにね。 武器は持ってるが、夕べの怪物が現れたら無理して戦おうとせず、さっさと逃げること。じゃあそういう感じで行こうか。
After that short briefing, we head to Asakusa. We walk out all scared, but last night's monster is nowhere in sight. However, there was something seriously wrong with this place. It's high noon, yet there's not a single person around, tourist or otherwise. Most building entrances are closed by shutters, and we can't even go inside. Some convenience stores were open, but I didn't see a single person in any of them. The town's not ruined or old in any way. It's just empty, and walking around makes me uncomfortable.
とりあえず怪物の姿はなさそうだな。それじゃ本来の目的であるロープレマップ現象について検証してみようか。
We follow him and start properly looking into the mysterious loop phenomenon. We're not using any special equipment. We just try walking in various directions and mark the places where the loop happens on our map. East, west, south, north. We go everywhere we can and gather the data. During the whole process, I couldn't help but hope that there was a way out of here. Nakamisa's Shopping District, 7/17/2017, Monday. It's 39 p.m. I mean, I think that means 12:39 p.m. Otherwise, it would be midnight. After 2 whole hours of walking around Asakusa and examining the phenomena, we got a pretty good idea of the boundaries of the phenomenon. Its edges are basically the 4 main streets here. To the east, you have Umachichi Street. In the west, there's Kokosai Street. North, Kototoi Street. And south, Kami Nariman Street. Trying to cross any of these 4 streets makes you appear at the one opposite to it. Looks like we're shut inside a rough rectangle around Sensoji. And though we tried lots of things, it doesn't seem like there is a way out of this. We still don't know how to leave the town.
このロープレマップ現象は思った以上に手強いようだね。
Wadi-san sounds exhausted. Well, I can't blame him. We've been walking around for a while.
まあ、街の様子とロープレマップ現象の範囲がだいたい分かったんだ。一旦基地へと戻るとしようか。
我が輩の腹に住み着く魔界の虫どもが暴れ回っておる。かえって供物を与えてやらねばなるまいな。
Can't you just say you're hungry? Still, no one has any objections to that. Walking around Asakusa was tiring, and we have no guarantee that the monsters won't attack us. As we start walking towards the office building, Iruka-san suddenly stops.
イルカさんどうしたの？
いや、向こうから誰かが来るのだ。
I look to where he's pointing, and sure enough, there's a person coming towards us. Honestly, I'm really glad to meet someone in this eerie town. However, as she closes in, I get a proper look at her attire, and it leaves us all dumbfounded.
あら、やっと会えたわ。ゆうしゃさま。私はエロリー。よろしくね。パチクリ。
The woman gives us a happy smile and winks one of her large eyes. To summarize her appearance, she's a big-breasted, sexy elf, probably in her early 20s. Green, long hair, pointy, inhuman ears, languid-looking eyes, just beaming sexuality. The bikini armor she's wearing completes her appearance, making her look like a character from an aged PC eroge. To be brutally frank, she's looking a bit dated. She has this image of try-hard cosplayer about her. At last, but definitely not least, she has breasts so large they're borderline offensive. Yep, they're just stunning. Just imagining what you could do with those. Whoa, now, it's not the time to be carnal. Natsumi-san and Asano-san are giving me looks. I keep up appearances and talk to the woman.
あなたは一体、それに勇者様ってどういうことですか？
まあまあ、可愛らしい坊やね。そんなに硬くならないで。お姉さんがちゃんと説明してあげる。あなたたちはあの陰獣ベロベロスを倒すために現れた勇者様たちなの。ぜひともあなたたちの力であの陰獣を葬ってほしいのよ。
ベロベロスとはあの触手のある怪物のことか。
そうよ。あれがベロベロス。 あの怪物を倒せるのは勇者であるあなたたちだけなんだから。
This is too sudden and absurd. As I look at her blankly, Natsumi-san speaks up.
ねえみんな、私ちょっと気づいたことがあるのだけど、彼女の格好に見覚えはない。それにエロリーとベロベロスって名前にも聞き覚えはないかしら。
Asana-san suddenly raises her voice.
思い出したわ。エロリーってシンクロダイブにちょっとだけ出てきた NPC じゃない。
She's followed by Yuno-san.
ベロベロスって名前言うの覚えてるよ。同じシンクロダイブでボツになった敵キャラにそんな名前のモンスターがいたよね。
Synchro Drive is the name of the third game J7 ever made, and the only one of the group's titles that's somehow respected. I didn't participate in the development, so I obviously couldn't know about any Erori or Velovelos, but the other members are nodding.
おお、そうだった。ノリで妙な親近感が湧くと思ったわけだ。
Wadi-san takes another good look at Erori's body.
しかし、見事なまでの再現度だね。何より素材が素晴らしい。これほどのものを持ってる女性はなかなか。
Even in a situation like this, he doesn't stop being a perv. That's a Wadi-san for you.
よし、君を我がジャッジメント7の公式コスプレイヤーに認定しようじゃないか。
Erori looks at him in dissatisfaction.
コスプレなんて言われるとは心外だわ。エロリーは正真正銘本物のエロリーニューニューよ。
ならばこの問題に答えられるかい？これは公式には発表していないエロリーの設定だ。正解が分かったならば君を本物と認めよう。
And so, as expected, he gives her an indecent mini quiz.
エロリーの好きな果物は ?1 メロン、2バナナ、3リンゴ。さあどれだ？
Of course, it's 2. It's just too a wadi like not to be. It already answers as if it's nothing.
正解は2番。でもただのバナナじゃ私は満足できないわ。硬くって青臭くって見てるだけで昇天してしまいそうなのじゃなきゃね。
正解だ。完璧な答えだ。
He seems shaken.
じゃあエロリーの必殺技を見せてもらおうか。これはゲームの方には実装できなかったから普通のユーザーが知っているはずがない。
必殺技2つあるけど今ここでできるのは片方だけね。
She suddenly starts walking, and then collapses just as abruptly. It's like she tripped on nothing.
むきゅー、私転んでしまいましたわ。
For some reason, she bends her body and strikes a sexy pose.
間違いない。それはエロリーの必殺技。唐突に転んでセクシーポーズを見せるハプニングタイムではないか。
What a pointless ultimate move.
どうやら君は本物のエロリーニューニューで間違いないようだ。自分がクリエイトしたキャラと対面できるなんて実に嬉しいね。
オワリー、そんな簡単に信じちゃっていいわけ？ゲームキャラが現実に現れるなんてそんなの普通じゃないわ。
それを言ったらこの浅草の街から出られない状況だって普通とは言い難いだろう。この際何でもありってことでいいんじゃないか？
そうよ。つまらないことを言ってせっかく盛り上がっている私たちに水を差さないでもらえます？
Her tone is significantly colder than before. It has none of the charm from a moment ago. At first, I thought it was how she treated women, but
エロリー、あなたのデザインにはほんと苦労させられたのよ。変態からのリテイクの嵐がすごかったから。
はい、おかげで私こんなにセクシーになれました。とってもとっても感謝していますわ。
エロリーちゃんおっぱいすごい。 サイズは
120センチのアイカップ。興味あります？あなたになら触らせてあげますわよ。
She isn't the least bit cold to Natsumi-san and Yuno-san. In fact, she seems to be really friendly. Asano-san notices that too and quickly makes a comment.
ちょっとあまりに態度が違いすぎない？どうして私にだけそんなそっけない態度なわけ？
She turns aggressive.
浅野、そこのところは仕方ないんだよね。エロリーは最高の爆乳キャラとして俺が設定を作ったからさ。だから胸の小さい女性を軽蔑する性格にしちゃったんだよね。こりゃ傑作だ。あはははは。
She grabs his neck and starts strangling him.
やるな、浅野。だが、それ式で俺を昇天させようなど100年早い。この俺を昇天させたいのなら、せめてエロリーレベルの爆乳になって、あんなことやこんなことをしてもらわないと。
この変態が！それ以上言うなら、その口を二度と開けられないようにしてやろうか。
Asano-san's eyes are serious. Feeling the danger, Owari-san gives in and Asano-san lets go of him. She then voices a realizing something and looks at Natsumi-san.
でも言うのはわかるけど、どうして夏美まで大丈夫なのよ。あんただって私とそんなサイズ違わないでしょ。
浅野、あなたと一緒にされるなんて心外だわ。私、こう見えても気痩せするタイプだから。
Natsumi-san answers as if it's no big deal.
それに、エロリーのキャラデザをやったのは私。いわば彼女の生みの親みたいなものだもの。尊敬されるのは当然だわ。
なんかものすごく悔しいわね。
Asano-san grinds her teeth.
まあ浅野、胸の大きさだけが全てじゃないぞ。世の中には貧乳好きというニッチなニーズがあるのだ。
Iruka-san tries to console her, but
やかましい。
Iruka-san. Asano-san throws a backhanded punch at him, blowing him a short distance away. Well, knowing him, he'll be back on his feet in no time.
でもエロリー登場のおかげではっきりしたな。どうやらこの閉鎖された浅草では俺たちが開発したゲームの内容が現実となっているようだ。ならばこのゲーム的な展開を前向きに楽しんでしまおうじゃないか。そもそもとして陰獣ベロベロスを倒せるのは奴を生み出した俺たちだけだろうからな。
もちろん賛成だ、正解。我が輩は前々からこういったシチュエーションに憧れていたのだ。
Iruka-san is up again like nothing happened. He claps at Owari-san's suggestion.
言うのも頑張ります。みんなが一緒なら絶対に勝てるよね。
そこの胸しかないような NPC は気に食わないけど、ベロベロスをどうにかするのは賛成よ。あんなのがいたんじゃおちおち外も歩けないわ。
Asano-san glares at Erori.
ベロベロス。あまりの出来栄えに私自らボツにした敵キャラよ。その恨みで化けて出てきたとでも言うのかしら。どのみち私が生みの親であることに変わりはないわね。きっちり引導を渡してあげなくてはならないわ。
J7 ignores the absurd situation they're in and focuses only on the game-like turns of events. I can't help but be surprised by how quickly they accepted it all. Honestly, I can't keep up. Just how are they able to deal with a situation like this? Even so, if this is happening because of J7, then it should be taken care of by J7 too. It doesn't look like we can do anything about the RP map phenomenon right now, so we might as well focus on something we might be able to handle.
わかりました。僕も精一杯頑張ります。
よし、ならば予定通り一度基地へ戻るとしよう。古いデータや資料を漁ってベロベロスの情報を集める必要もあるしな。
Wadi-san walks off and we follow after him. Yorori trails behind us, acting needlessly sexual.
伝説の勇者様と一緒だなんて。わーお。私、なんだか興奮して胸がドキドキしてきたわ。誰か触って確かめてみます？
よし、そういうことなら俺が。
触るな。さっさと歩け。
With that and similar exchanges, we head towards the J7 office building. Judgment 7 Office Lounge, 7/17/2017, Monday, 1:14 p.m. Okay, why don't we stop it there? This is meowmurai. You've been watching Our World Is Ended, running on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.